With me, I'm using two Marshall monoblocks. One of them is a 50 watter with 6L6s in it, and I've got the EL34 100 100. And right now, currently as a preamp, I'm using the old PV Rockmaster, and I think it's metal's best kept secret. It's got a really clean but yet dirty sound to it, if that makes any sense. I'm definitely interested in trying out some different pre's. I'm really interested in, like maybe an Engel or something I wanted to try. I want to try some different stuff, but that's pretty much what we use, Marshall stuff. And Carl has a little bit different of a setup, but the Marshall cabinets, of course. Yeah, we also like to distribute our guitar signal with the radial J87 injectors. So that way you can power, Carl could power like 9 Marshall stacks if he wanted to with one guitar signal, and I could do the same. I could have a rack box full of monoblocks if I wanted to. It's a really good piece, and it doesn't do really anything to the signal. It's all Jensen Class A transformers, it really preserves your sound and gives you a drag knob too, so if you want a little boost out of it, you can even juice it a little bit. That's what I did. I was like, hey, that sounds good when it clips just a hair. The little clip lights, going just a little bit. It sounds great.
I use the DSL 100 heads with a Roland GP8 for, well, really just so I can have the foot switch MIDI thing. And it controls like the little bit of EQ, a little bit of overdrive, and then straight in the front of the Marshall head, and then straight in the Marshall cabinet. Well, the chain comes afterwards. Coming out of the back of one of the Marshall heads, the lead head, there's a slave out, and it goes to a lexicon. And out of the lexicon, it goes in a crown, and the crown powers the top cabinets. I got 3 on the bottom, 3 on the top. So the top is just like wet stuff, and the bottom is all the dry. So when I hit the lead boost, and it channel switches the Marshall head from like nothing to like totally on, it fires up all the top cabinets too. So I go from totally dry to nice singy wet lexicon stuff. But it never gets in front of the Marshall, which I kind of like better that way because it preserves the tone.
Well, Carl comes up with almost all the lyrics, and actually all the lyrics on the past 2 albums. And basically, we work from that. We work from that and formulate the ideas. There you go. There's what the song is. That's what it's about. This is what it's talking about. So we just gotta make it sound like that. Whatever the song's about, and it kind of gives us a direction and an idea of what the hell to play. You know what I mean? So it just kind of falls into place. Got the idea there, and kind of get a vibe from it and what it sounds like, and maybe even some rhythmic vocal patterns. And we just work it like that.
Exactly, yeah. Like I'll have the lyrics sitting in front of me, and I'm play guitar and just have them in front of me, so I think about them, and usually they inspire some kind of guitar part. And after we like have enough riffs, like to kind of like make these words come to life, we usually make demos, and then we give them to George and let George do his own drum parts. In the past, we each used to like do the whole fucking demo thing: drums, vocals, bass, leads, keyboards, the whole fucking 9 yards. But now I kind of like letting George do his own drums. He comes up with great stuff, and it's not as much headache. Programming drums on the computer, you can get it exactly how you want it, right? But fuck, man, I'd rather play guitar.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that, the stuff that George has been coming up with has been very, very appropriate and correct, and sometimes things that we may not necessarily have thought of before, so it's working out really good.
Well, the whole history and mythology and all that, it's fascinating stuff. I was kind of interested in it, just as kind of like a personal hobby thing. And when it came time to write songs for this band, we're like, well, gosh, we got the name Nile. What the fuck do we do with that? What could one do? And that sort of just sparked a whole well of creativity. Mixed metaphors there. Yeah. So we said to ourselves, what could we do with this fucking idea, and how far could one take it? And I even at the time I went to my guitar teacher and I said, dude, I need some guitar chords that sound like this. And he goes, what the fuck are you talking about? There are no guitar chords that you can use in a death metal band that sound like Egypt. What the fuck are you talking about? So that's when we had to kind of make up our own chords. Yeah, a lot of stacked fourths, stacked fifths. Like, we use that one frequently, where you take like the normal chord and you've got like a half step down with the fourth thing on there, and it's really cool. Or this one, it sounds great on an acoustic. Occasionally, I'll listen to some stuff and try and nick a lick here and there. But it's real hard to like make like an oud translate into an electric guitar. That's the Glissentar works cool for that because it's fretless and you can really do some stuff. I also play the baglama saz. It's a long-necked Turkish lute, and a lot of the really cool Middle Eastern passages on the records are that. That's what you hear. It sounds like a jangly kind of bouzouki thing. Well, it's the baglama. Well, I think with us, we care about the music and the art that we're giving people. I mean, we're not real big on necessarily image. I mean, we dress like normal, metal guys everywhere, But we wanted to make the music and the lyrics, the whole thing, be something worthwhile presenting. Like, this is enough to be interesting on its own without, being all pretty or whatever. We're not about that crap. We want to play, we want to make music, we want to give people something worthwhile.